Dallas trying to hold on and move on to the second round. O'Neal, trigger man, toss, cross court, Bogdanovich, ball fake, Bogdanovich misses on a three ball, and it's over. For the first time since 2011, when the Mavericks won the title, they are advancing in the playoffs. They hold off.
In 2022, the Utah Jazz faced their sixth straight playoff elimination under head coach Quinn Snyder. After failing to get out of the first round for the third time in 4 years with their all-star duo Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, the Utah Jazz decided it was time for a change in direction.
Utah Jazz now in the market for a new coach. In a statement, Quinn Snyder said Utah needs a new voice, adding, quote, "I just feel it's time to move forward."
Breaking news in the NBA, Danny Ainge back in an NBA front office. It did not take long. He is now with the Utah Jazz. They've hired
Utah Jazz sent Donovan Mitchell to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
We have a breaking news alert here, a trade in the NBA. The Utah Jazz are sending Rudy Gobert to the Minnesota Timberwolves in exchange.
Tearing their core apart, the Utah Jazz were expected to rebuild and fall to the bottom of the league after over half a decade of winning basketball. However, the Jazz had other plans. In the Donovan Mitchell trade, Utah acquired what they expected to be a quiet starter to contribute to their quiet season. Instead, they got a sleeping giant, whose incoming breakout season derailed their vision and put them in near playoff contention. Looking into Markkanen's first season in Utah, the Jazz have their new franchise cornerstone and one of the best spacing bigs in the NBA. In the first 5 seasons of his career, Markkanen had seemed to peak as a scorer in the mid-teens. The 7-footer established himself as a shooting big, but failed to make any significant leaps in Chicago or Cleveland. His shooting remained consistent, but his stats seemed stagnant and even declined after his sophomore season. His acquisition was so underwhelming for media that when breaking down the trade, Sports Illustrated failed to even mention Markkanen. They're simply quoted saying, "The Jazz want to execute a full-blown tank, and this move brings them significantly closer to the number 1 overall pick." Markkanen's role in Utah had the opposite effect, and after being predicted to win just 26 games by ESPN, Markkanen led the Jazz to 37 wins, just 3 games shy of a play-in opportunity. How did Markkanen do this? Unlocked under new head coach Will Hardy, Markkanen became an elite offensive big, first-time All-Star, and the NBA's most improved player. Facing the highest usage of his career at nearly 27%, Markkanen became a first-option scorer for the Jazz and tallied a career-high 25.6 points per game. Lauri Markkanen's X-factor is his perimeter shooting. Among all 7-footers, Markkanen was undoubtedly the best in the league. Shooting over 7 threes per game at a 39% clip, he's a tough assignment to guard. His height makes it difficult to contest his long reach and often finds himself in the open with forwards unable to reach him on the perimeter. His shooting metrics speak for themselves, with Basketball Index ranking him in the 98th and 97th percentile for three-point shot making and perimeter shooting talent. The most impressive part is that he has a shot quality ranking in the 8th percentile, meaning Markkanen had one of the best shooting seasons last year, despite having one of the worst shot quality metrics. He may not be a pull-up shooter, but Markkanen is always there off the catch. Last season, he was second in the NBA in catch-and-shoot three-point attempts, with 6.8 per game. On those attempts, he shot 40.7%. One of the greatest shooting seasons ever seen from a big, Markkanen is nothing short of elite outside the arc. Inside the paint, Markkanen is just as dangerous. Aptly nicknamed the finisher, Markkanen does not miss in close quarters. If you didn't watch the Jazz last season, you missed out on a human highlight reel of posters, dunks, and contact finishes. Being a spacing big, Markkanen stretches defenses. As a result, he creates space inside the paint and creates plenty of opportunities for himself. His 5 rim field goal attempts per game may not be impressive, but his efficiency when he gets there is. Ranked highly for his rim field goal percentage, shot making, and finishing talent, Markkanen makes his close shots count. And part of being an NBA big is attacking the rim through the pick and roll. Though Markkanen is one of the most valuable popping screeners, as a roller, he was one of the most efficient last season. His points per possession as a roll man of 1.27 was in the 98th percentile. Looking at this graph of all small forwards, you can see that Markkanen is on an island and far above the rest as an efficient roller at his position. Whether it's inside the paint attacking the rim or outside the arc spacing the floor, Markkanen's value as an offensive player was immeasurable in 2023. On the other end of the floor, Markkanen holds his value as an elite rim protector. He may not have quick feet to make him switchable and mobile, but his size and athleticism make him an active help defender and an intimidating rim presence. Of all forwards in the NBA to defend over 1,200 shots in the restricted area, Markkanen had the 9th lowest opponent field goal percentage of 65%. Looking at his advanced metrics, you can see Markkanen made a name for himself in the paint. His rim protection rating was highly ranked, but his rim points saved per 75 possessions, and his defensive field goal percentage versus expected field goal percentage was in the 100th and 99th percentile, placing him on top of all rim protectors. His blocks per game of 0.6 shows he's not a block machine, but his ability to deter shots at the rim and protect the paint outside of getting blocks makes Markkanen a valuable inside defender. Looking into the future, the Jazz have a star player to build around. Coming off a season as the NBA's most improved player, first All-Star appearance, and a coveted 25 points per game, Markkanen's momentum heading into next season is sky high. Markkanen and the Jazz were 3 games shy of the play-in last season. They have 3 first-round picks in the upcoming draft, the 7th most cap space for the offseason, and a number of potential trade assets. If Markkanen remains the face of the franchise, Danny Ainge has the opportunity to build a roster around the highly efficient spacing big that could easily contend for the playoffs. In the driver's seat in Utah, Markkanen had one of the greatest breakout seasons we've seen in recent years. The former 7th overall pick went from struggling in Chicago to a starting role spot in Cleveland to franchise cornerstone with the Jazz. If the high-level play we saw last season continues, who knows where Markkanen's ceiling lies in Salt Lake City.